For thousands of years, the cruel Galactic Empire ruled the stars with fear. Planet after planet fell under their control. Civilizations burned. Species vanished. No one dared to stand against them. Until now. Because one small blue planet far from the center of the galaxy had refused to join them, Earth. And the Empire never forgot that insult. The sky darkens. It began with a strange silence in space. Satellites stopped sending signals. The International Space Station suddenly lost communication with all ground stations. At first, scientists thought it was a solar storm. But then something appeared behind the moon. A shadow. No, not one shadow. Thousands. The cruel empire had arrived. Their warships were enormous, bigger than anything humans had ever seen. Some were shaped like long metal spears. Others looked like giant black pyramids with red glowing lines running across them. Their engines hummed like angry storms, and their weapons pulsed with deadly red light. People on Earth looked up as the sky shifted to a darker shade. Cities paused. Cars stopped on highways. Families came out of their homes. A feeling of fear slowly spread across the world. Something was coming. Something terrible. The Empire's message. Inside Earth Command, alarms screamed. Officers hurried across large hologram tables, trying to make sense of the incoming signals. General Arya Malik stood at the center of the room, calm but alert. She watched as thousands of red enemy markers formed around Earth's orbit. Then a deep, metallic voice echoed through every communication device on the planet. People of Earth. The voice was cold, emotionless, merciless. You once refused to bow to the Galactic Empire. You believed you were safe, hidden in your small corner of the galaxy. The screens in Earth Command flickered as the Empire's flagship became visible. A massive black ship shaped like a blade, surrounded by swirling red energy. But your time has ended. The voice grew louder. Kneel, or be erased from existence. The message ended. Silence followed. A silence more frightening than the threat itself. Fear spreads. But something else rises. Across the Earth, panic began. News channels broadcast the alien arrival. People in cities ran to shelters. Some cried, some yelled, some prayed. Everyone knew this was not a small attack. This was war. But inside Earth Command, General Arya did not panic. She stepped forward and said, "Open global broadcast." A camera turned toward her. "People of Earth," Arya said calmly, "we are not alone, but we are not weak." She looked directly into the camera. "We will fight." Millions watching across the world felt something inside them change. Fear slowly turned into something else. Courage. Humanity's first response. In orbit, human defense ships began rising from Earth. They were smaller and less advanced than the Empire's ships, but they were fast and built for survival. Admiral Kenji Tanaka stood aboard the human flagship Horizon Dawn. His dark eyes focused on the massive red fleet spreading across the sky. "Enemy ships are forming attack formation," an officer reported. Tanaka nodded. "Then we form ours." Human ships arranged themselves in a tight protective ring around Earth. Pilots strapped into their fighters. Engineers powered up plasma cannons and missile systems. The entire fleet waited for the Admiral's command. Tanaka took a deep breath. "All ships, prepare for first contact." The Empire approaches. Far above them, the Empire fleet moved as one. Their ships didn't glide, they cut through space like blades. Their engines glowed red, leaving trails of burning energy behind them. In the Empire's flagship, Supreme Commander Ryvok watched Earth with cold, ruthless eyes. His armor was black and covered with glowing red markings. His sharp, reptile-like face twisted in disgust. "So this is the human world," he said. "So small. So weak." An officer beside him bowed. "Shall we fire, Commander?" Ryvok raised a clawed hand to stop him. "No. Let them see our power first. Let them fear us." His voice was filled with cruel confidence. "Then we crush them." The first shot. Back at Earth Command, a loud alarm suddenly blared. "General, one of the Empire ships has locked onto the planet." Arya's eyes widened. "What target?" The officer swallowed. "A civilian zone, ma'am, a large one." Arya felt her heart freeze. The Empire wasn't attacking the military. They were attacking the people. She slammed her fist into the console. "Admiral Tanaka, stop that weapon now." On the Horizon Dawn, Tanaka stared at the incoming threat. He whispered, "So this is how the Empire fights, no mercy." Then he raised his voice. "All ships, fire." Human ships unleashed everything, plasma, lasers, missiles. The space around Earth lit up like a storm of blue and white lightning. Their goal was clear. Stop the Empire's first strike, or millions would die. The impossible moment. The Empire weapon fired first. A huge red beam shot toward Earth. But before it could reach the atmosphere, something strange happened. A sudden burst of blue energy exploded from Earth's surface, an unknown shield that no human had ever seen before. The red beam hit the shield and stopped. Everyone, humans and aliens, fell silent. Commander Rivok stared in shock. What is that? General Arya stared at the glowing shield. I don't know, she whispered. But humanity is not as alone as we thought. Suspense hung in the air. The cruel Empire expected an easy victory. But Earth had just surprised the galaxy. Earth was no longer the quiet blue planet it had been only a week ago. Since the arrival of the cruel Empire, every major city buzzed with fear, whispers, and fast-moving preparations. People hurried through streets. Soldiers rushed to bases. Scientists stayed awake for days. Everyone knew the same truth. The Empire was not here to talk. They were here to conquer. And on the second day after their arrival, the Empire finally proved it. The Empire's warning. High above Earth, the Empire's flagship Vorith Dominion glowed like a dark star. Its huge metal arms opened, revealing strange weapons that hummed with red energy. Every radar on Earth picked up the same signal. Something was charging. Commander Rhea Solis stood inside the Global Defense Command Center, staring at the screens. Her jaw tightened when she saw the readings. Energy levels are rising fast, a technician shouted. It's some kind of particle lance. If they fire that at a city... Rhea didn't let him finish. Send a global alert. Everyone to shelters. Now. Around her, alarms wailed. Red lights flashed. The world held its breath. Then the Empire broadcasted a message again, repeating the same cold words. Surrender or be erased. You have 1 minute. It wasn't a negotiation. It was a countdown. The shot that shocked Earth. In space, the weapon on the Empire ship reached full power. Red lightning crawled around it like living fire. Earth watched live in terror. And then, the weapon fired. A beam of red energy ripped through the atmosphere, burning the sky as it descended toward Earth. The target was a small coastal city in Asia, one with no military base, no weapons, no threat at all. The Empire wasn't trying to defeat soldiers. They wanted to break human spirit. Inside the command center, everyone watched helplessly as the beam roared toward the city. But something unexpected happened. Project Aegis activates. At the last second, a blue shield erupted from the ocean, rising like a giant energy wall. The red beam struck it, and the whole planet shook. Boom. The force was so huge that windows shattered across the coastline. Waves rose like mountains. The sky flashed white. But when the light faded, the city was still standing. The shield had worked. Scientists cheered. Officers cried with relief. Rhea exhaled for the first time in minutes. Project Aegis, Earth's experimental defense shield, had survived a direct hit from a galactic weapon. But it wasn't all good news. The shield flickered. The blue light dimmed. And then the warning lights turned red. Aegis is down, an engineer yelled. It can't take a second hit. Rhea stared at the screen. If the Empire fired again, the city would not survive. The Empire's fury. On the Empire flagship, the alien commander, Lord Xandrok, slammed a clawed fist onto his control panel. How did a primitive world block our strike? He roared. His officers lowered their heads in fear. No one dared speak. Xandrok snarled, charge the weapon again. This time, destroy the entire region. You wanted revenge. You wanted fear. You wanted Earth crushed. But he wasn't the only one preparing a counteraction. Earth's secret weapon. Far below, deep inside an underground lab, Dr. Elias Ward watched the failed shield from a private monitor. He didn't panic. He didn't shout. He simply whispered, "They finally pushed us too far." Behind him stood a long metallic capsule covered with warning labels. Inside it, something slept, something not yet revealed to the world. Project Titan. A human-made weapon so powerful that only a few people even knew it existed. Elias placed his hand on the capsule and muttered, "It's time." He activated the system. Lights turned on. Energy surged. Machinery woke from a long sleep. The Titan's eyes glowed. Humanity refuses to break. Around the world, people saw the Empire's attack and something strange happened. They didn't break. Instead, humanity became angry. In homes, shelters, and military bases, people whispered the same thing. They attacked civilians. They tried to scare us. They want us gone. But instead of fear, a fire lit inside every heart. Humans were not going to kneel. Not to an empire. Not to anyone. Commander Rhea saw this change too. Her team, once afraid, now worked with fierce determination. Prepare the counter-strike, she ordered. Earth will not wait for their next shot. Her voice was calm, strong, unshakable. For the first time, Earth wasn't just defending. Earth was preparing to fight back. The Empire fires again. Back in orbit, the Empire's weapon fully charged once more. Red energy swirled violently around it. Fire. Zandrock commanded. Another massive beam erupted toward Earth, larger, hotter, deadlier. This time there was no shield. Everyone on Earth braced for impact. And just as the beam approached the atmosphere, a shadow rose from Earth into space, moving faster than anything made by humans in history. Project Titan had launched. The counter-strike had begun. And nothing in the galaxy was ready. The red beam from the Empire's weapon cut through space like a burning river of fire. It moved fast, so fast that even military satellites struggled to track it. If the beam reached Earth, a whole region would be turned into dust. But something else was rising to meet it. A dark shape shot upward like a rocket breaking free from gravity. It moved faster than any missile humans had ever built. It cut through clouds and atmosphere like a spear made of lightning. Project Titan was no ordinary weapon. It was Earth's hidden answer to the Empire. The Titan awakens. Inside the Titan's armored shell was a pilot, Captain Aaron Hale, one of Earth's best. His voice was steady as he spoke into the comm system. Titan online. Target locked. I'm moving to intercept. In the Global Defense Command Center, Commander Rhea Solis watched the Titan's signal climb on the screen. Aaron, that beam will reach Earth in seconds, she warned. I know, he replied calmly. That's why I'm aiming straight for it. Technicians stared in disbelief. One whispered, he's going to collide with the beam? But Aaron wasn't afraid. He had trained for this moment. He was the first human to pilot the Titan, and he trusted its power completely. Inside the cockpit, the Titan's AI spoke in a deep synthetic voice. Impact path confirmed. Energy shields at maximum. Aaron tightened his grip on the controls. Let's show them what humans can do. Beam versus Titan. The Empire's destructive beam roared toward Earth. The Titan flew upward at full speed. And then, they collided. Boom. The sky lit up like a second sun. Clouds exploded outward in rings of glowing vapor. Shockwaves rolled across the upper atmosphere. Inside the command center, screens flickered. Every sensor went blind for a second. Is he alive? Someone shouted. Rhea leaned forward. Her heart pounded. Then the signal returned. The Titan burst through the explosion. Still flying. Still intact. Still unstoppable. The whole command center erupted in cheers. Some people cried. Others hugged each other. Rhea whispered, "Good work, Aaron?" But the battle was far from over. The Empire notices the Titan. On the Empire flagship, Lord Zandrock stared at his screens in outraged disbelief. What is that construct? How did it survive? He demanded. An officer trembled as he read the data. Commander, it appears to be a human weapon. A single unit destroyed our full-power beam. Zandrock growled, impossible. Primitive worlds do not create such machines. But the truth was undeniable. Earth had just blocked the Empire's strongest attack. And now the Titan was coming toward them. Aaron's advance. Path to the flagship is clear, Titan's AI said. Aaron gazed ahead. The Empire's giant ship filled the sky like a floating black continent. He felt no fear, only determination. Let's give them a message, he said. Humans don't bow. The Titan adjusted its thrusters and accelerated toward the alien ship. Flames trailed behind it. Electric arcs wrapped around its metallic frame. As it flew, Aaron saw Earth growing smaller below him. He felt something rise inside. Not anger, not fear, but pride. We're fighting for our home, he whispered. Humanity unites. Back on Earth, people around the world watched the Titan's live feed. The image of a single Earth-made machine rising into the stars began spreading everywhere. On giant screens in cities. On phones in shelters. On military bases and classrooms. And for the first time, people didn't feel helpless. They felt powerful. Messages flooded social media. Go Titan. We believe in you. Earth fights back. This is not the end, this is the beginning. The Empire had tried to break humanity with fear. Instead, they awakened something stronger. Inside the Empire ship, the Vorith Dominion prepared its defenses. Dozens of weapons turned toward the incoming Titan, energy cannons, mass drivers, missile tubes. The Empire was not taking chances. "Destroy that machine," Zandrock ordered coldly. "No matter the cost." Alarms echoed through the alien vessel. Warriors moved to battle stations. They expected the Titan to slow down. They expected it to retreat. They expected fear. But Aaron kept flying. The first human strike in space. Thousands of bright red shots fired from the Empire ship. The Titan twisted through them, moving like a living blade. Aaron's voice was steady. "AI, prepare the rail cannon." Rail cannon charged. Target, enemy hull. Aaron took a breath. Fire. A blinding blue projectile shot from the Titan. It crossed the distance in a blink and punched straight into the Empire ship's armor. The explosion shook the alien flagship so hard that even Zandrock had to grab a rail to stand. Smoke filled a hallway inside the ship. Sparks rained from the ceiling. An officer screamed, "Hull breach on deck 12. Their weapon penetrated our armor." Zandrock's eyes widened. Earth had just damaged a ship that had survived wars for thousands of years. The Titan reaches striking range. As fire spread inside the Empire ship, the Titan closed in. Aaron saw the massive black metal wall filling his view. He smiled. Time for round 2. The Titan's engines flared like twin suns as it prepared another attack. For the first time since their arrival, the cruel Empire felt fear. And Earth, for the first time in history, was taking the fight into deep space. The Titan hovered only a few kilometers from the Empire's flagship now. The Vorath Dominion filled the stars like a floating city of metal and shadows. Its armor glowed red from battle damage. Fires burned along its hull. Alarms echoed across its decks. Earth had never been this close to an alien ship in history. And Captain Aaron Hale was about to step inside it. Boarding the flagship. "AI, prepare the breaching drill," Aaron ordered. Breaching system activated. Point of entry, weakened hull section, deck 12. The Titan shifted position, aligning itself with the spot Aaron had hit earlier. A swirling blue drill of energy formed at the Titan's front. Aaron took a deep breath. This is it. The breaching drill fired. Boom. Metal tore apart like ripped paper. The Titan punched through the flagship's armor and crashed into a dark corridor. Sparks and smoke shot everywhere. When the Titan system stabilized, Aaron looked through the cockpit window. He was inside the Empire's most powerful warship. The Empire responds. Sirens screamed through the alien corridors. Warriors, tall and armored in black plates, rushed toward the breach point with glowing plasma rifles. One officer yelled into his communicator, "Intruder detected. A human machine has entered the Dominion." Lord Zandrock heard the report from the command deck and snarled. "A single human dares enter my ship? Send everything. He must not reach the core." The warriors obeyed. Hundreds of troops moved to intercept. But the Titan was ready. The Titan's first interior battle. Aaron watched the enemy appear on sensors. "AI, activate interior combat mode." Panels on the Titan's arms opened, revealing 2 rotating plasma cannons. "Let's clear the path." The Empire soldiers fired first, hundreds of red blasts filling the corridor. The Titan raised its shield and the shots bounced off like sparks hitting a wall. Then Aaron fired back. The Titan's cannons glowed bright blue. 2 massive energy blasts tore down the hallway, sending troops flying. Metal walls melted. Floors shook. Alien warriors screamed and dove for cover. But they couldn't stop the Titan. Aaron pushed forward, smashing aside debris, firing in controlled bursts, always moving deeper into the ship. He whispered, "I'm coming for you, Zandrock." Earth watches in awe. Back on Earth, the live feed from Aaron's suit showed every moment. People saw the Titan tearing through the Empire's elite soldiers. They saw flames, sparks, and shadows dance through alien corridors. They saw humanity's first steps inside a galactic warship. Crowds across the world cheered. "He's inside their ship. Go, Aaron. Show them what Earth can do." Commander Rhea watched the feed with a mixture of pride and worry. "Aaron," she whispered, "stay alive." She knew he was fighting not just for victory, but for humanity's message. Earth bows to no empire. A dangerous discovery. As Aaron advanced, the Titan's AI detected something strange. Warning, biosignature ahead. Not Empire species. Unknown. "What do you mean unknown?" Aaron asked. The Titan turned a corner and Aaron froze. Behind a transparent force field, dozens of strange alien creatures sat inside cages. Their eyes were dim, their bodies weak, their arms chained. They were prisoners. Not human. Not Empire. Something else entirely. One creature looked up with tired, glowing eyes and whispered in a trembling voice. You, human, you must run. The Empire, they trap all worlds. You cannot win. Aaron's jaw tightened. Watch me. He disabled the force field, breaking the locks and freeing the prisoners. But one of them grabbed his arm with surprising strength. There is something you must know, the alien said. Someone on your world sent a signal to the Empire. They helped them find Earth. Aaron's heart pounded. A traitor. On Earth. Who? Aaron demanded. The alien shook his head weakly. We do not know the face, only the energy signature. But the Empire did not find Earth by accident. Someone guided them. Aaron clenched his fists. This changed everything. Inside the command deck, Lord Zandrock watched the prisoner breach on his monitors. His face twisted in fury. He frees lower beings? He thinks they matter? Zandrock hissed. Enough. Prepare the death core. His officers trembled. But, Great Lord, activating the death core will destroy half the ship. And if we do nothing, the human reaches the bridge. Zandrock bellowed. Activate it. The ship shook as a massive red energy sphere formed deep inside the flagship. It pulsed like a living heart. The death core was the Empire's final weapon. If it detonated, the Titan, the freed prisoners, and even part of the flagship would be vaporized. Aaron learns the truth. The Titan's AI issued a sharp warning. Alert, death core activation detected. Explosion imminent. Aaron's eyes widened. They're going to blow the ship? Correct, the AI replied. We must reach the core before it overloads. Aaron growled, then we run. The Titan charged forward, blasting through walls, ignoring enemy fire, moving faster than anyone thought possible. Behind him, the prisoners scattered, freed but terrified. Ahead of him, a glowing red light grew brighter and brighter. The death core pulsed like a ticking bomb. The race to the core. Aaron launched the Titan into a final sprint. The core chamber door came into view. The Empire soldiers guarding it barely had time to raise their weapons before the Titan smashed through them. Inside the chamber, the glowing core throbbed with unstable power. Red lightning shot across the room. Aaron stared at it. This ends now. He raised the Titan's rail cannon, aiming directly at the death core's control pillar. AI, he whispered, fire. The cannon charged. The whole flagship trembled. Lord Zandrock screamed in rage. And then, Aaron pulled the trigger. The rail cannon fired with a burst of blue light that lit up the entire chamber. The blast slammed into the death core's control pillar, sending sparks flying in every direction. The entire room shook violently as the Empire's most dangerous weapon flickered and screamed like a wounded beast. For a moment, Aaron didn't know if he had destroyed it or triggered it. Smoke filled the air. The Titan staggered back, metal creaking. AI status of the core? Aaron demanded. The Titan's AI scanned the chamber. Critical damage detected, but the death core is still charging. Explosion in 3 minutes. Aaron clenched his teeth. We need to shut it down completely. But shutting it down wasn't the problem. Reaching it again was. Because the moment the smoke cleared, Zandrock arrives. A towering figure stepped into the chamber. Metal armor. Glowing red eyes. Black cape. Lord Zandrock himself. He was over 2 meters tall and covered in heavy plates that pulsed with alien energy. His claws were sharp enough to cut steel. And he was furious. His voice shook the chamber. Human, you dare step inside my ship and damage my core? Aaron aimed the Titan's cannons at him. You attacked my world, he said. You gave us no choice. Zandrock laughed, a deep, cold, cruel sound. You think your world matters? We crush planets every century. Earth is nothing. Aaron's voice sharpened. Then you picked the wrong planet. Zandrock extended both arms and energy blades formed from his wrists, long, red, and deadly. This ends now, human. Titan versus Zandrock. Zandrock charged. The Titan raised its shield. The impact was like 2 meteors colliding. The entire chamber exploded with sound as Titan and Overlord clashed. Zandrock struck again and again, each blow strong enough to crack steel walls. The Titan blocked, dodged, and countered with bursts of plasma. Aaron gritted his teeth. AI, full combat mode. Combat mode activated. The Titan's fists glowed blue, and it launched a hard punch that slammed into Zandrock's chest. For the first time the alien staggered. Zandrock snarled. You fight well for a lesser being. Aaron smirked inside the cockpit. You talk too much. Zandrock roared and struck with both energy blades at once. The Titan caught one blade on its shield, but the second carved a deep line across its armor. Warning lights flashed in Aaron's cockpit. Armor damage, 23%. Aaron winced. He needed to end this fast, and time was running out. The death core grows unstable. Behind them, the death core pulsed faster and brighter. 2 minutes to explosion. Red lightning danced across the floor. The ship trembled. Panels fell from the ceiling. The Titan's AI spoke again. Captain, if the core explodes, half this ship and everything inside it will be gone. Aaron tightened his grip. All the more reason to finish this now. The turning point. Xandrock rushed forward again, swinging his massive blade arm toward the Titan's chest. The Titan ducked, spun, and fired a point-blank plasma shot into the alien commander's armor. Boom. Xandrock stumbled backward. His armor cracked, exposing glowing veins beneath. "You insect," he hissed. Aaron didn't give him a chance to recover. He activated the Titan's thrusters and launched forward at full speed. The Titan slammed into Xandrock, smashing him into the wall. Metal shattered. Xandrock roared in pain. Aaron raised the Titan's rail cannon. "This is for Earth." He fired. The blast hit Xandrock directly in the chest. The alien overlord was thrown across the chamber and crashed into the floor, his armor smoking. For the first time since the war began. Xandrock looked afraid. A desperate decision. But the fight wasn't over. The AI spoke urgently. "Death core overload at 90%. We cannot stay." Aaron looked at the broken control pillar. He realized something important. Even if the Titan destroyed the death core, the explosion might still happen. The core was too unstable. There was only one way to save Earth. The Titan had to remove the core from the ship. Aaron swallowed hard. "That means, we carry it out?" "Affirmative," the AI said. It was impossible. Suicidal. Meh. But Aaron knew humanity had no other chance. Extracting the core. The Titan drove its arms into the glowing death core chamber. Electricity surged over its armor. Sparks exploded everywhere. Aaron gritted his teeth as alarms screamed. Stabilizers overheating. Power grid failing. Hull integrity dropping. But the Titan held on. With a loud, tearing sound, the Titan pulled the unstable death core free from its housing. The entire flagship shook like a dying beast. Red cracks spread across the sphere. It pulsed dangerously. 1 minute to explosion. Aaron shouted into his comm. "This is Captain Aaron Hale. Titan has the core. I'm getting it out." Earth Command went silent, shocked and terrified. Commander Rhea whispered, "Aaron, please come back." He didn't answer. He couldn't promise that. Xandrock's last stand. Before the Titan could escape, a massive hand grabbed its leg. Xandrock, bloody, burned but still alive, dragged himself up. "You will not leave," he roared. He lunged with his blade. But Aaron kicked him with the Titan's thruster-boosted strike. Xandrock flew backward and crashed into the far wall, finally unmoving. Aaron didn't look back. He escaped. The Titan blasted upward, ripping through ceilings, corridors, decks. Metal bending under its force. Lights exploding. Sirens shrieking. As Aaron carried the unstable death core toward space. 30 seconds. The Titan tore through the hull and shot into open space. 20 seconds. Aaron threw the death core away from the Titan with all the machine's strength. The glowing sphere flew outward like a falling star. 10 seconds. Aaron turned the Titan away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The death core exploded. A silent, massive burst of red light consumed half the sky. And then darkness. For a long moment there was nothing. No light, no sound, no movement. Just darkness. The explosion of the death core had swallowed everything around it. It ripped through space like a silent red sun, shredding metal, bending energy, and shaking even distant satellites orbiting Earth. The blast was so powerful that every monitor on Earth went white. And then the screens went black. Millions of people across the planet stared, terrified. Did the Titan survive? Where is Aaron? Did the Empire ship explode too? No one knew. Not yet. The broken flagship. Far above Earth, pieces of the Empire's flagship, the Vorith Dominion, drifted like dark fragments of a shattered moon. Entire sections were gone. Fires burned in open space. Gravity systems failed. Internal lights flickered like dying stars. Lord Xandrock's warship, the strongest in the Empire, was now half destroyed. Inside the ship, alien officers struggled through smoking corridors. Power failing. Life support offline. Decks 4 through 19, completely gone. A commander fell to his knees. How did humans do this? For the first time, fear spread among the Empire's elite. Searching for the Titan. Back on Earth, the Global Defense Command Center worked non-stop. Commander Rhea stood in the center of the chaos, gripping the edge of the table as radar screens flickered. Try again, she ordered. Scan near the explosion zone. We did, ma'am, a technician said. No signal from the Titan. No signal from Captain Aaron. Her heart sank. But she refused to give up. Run a deep search scan, she said. Even if his signal is weak. We'll try, the technician said, but the radiation from the death core is scrambling everything. Rhea swallowed. Aaron had saved Earth, but at what cost? In the ruins of space. Drifting in the darkness, hidden beneath shattered metal, a small light blinked. The Titan. It floated silently, half buried under twisted debris. Its armor was cracked. Smoke leaked from its joints. One of its arms was missing. The cockpit lights were dim. Inside, Aaron lay slumped in his seat, barely conscious. His vision was blurry. Every breath hurt. AI, a report, he whispered. A soft, damaged voice answered. Titan, operational status. 17%, minimal power. Aaron forced a weak smile. You're still with me? Affirmative, Captain. Aaron Hale. He tried to move but pain shot through his chest. Did we stop it? The AI paused. The death core has been destroyed. The flagship is crippled. Mission, successful. Aaron exhaled, relieved. Earth was safe. But he wasn't safe yet. The Empire regroups. Deep inside the wounded flagship, Lord Xandrock pulled himself from the rubble. His armor was shattered. His cape burned. His face was filled with rage and disbelief. A trembling officer approached him. Great Lord, the ship cannot fight. We must retreat. Retreat? Xandrock growled. We do not retreat from primitive insects. Another officer added, half our fleet received the death core shockwave. They are damaged too. Xandrock froze. He could not hide the truth from himself. A single human weapon had wounded the Empire's greatest warship, and shaken their fleet. But something else disturbed him even more. The look in the eyes of his own soldiers. Fear. They see us bleeding, Xandrock realized. And when an empire bleeds, the galaxy begins to question. He clenched his fists. This human machine, this Titan, will be erased. And Earth will burn. But he knew that right now in their broken state they could not finish the job. Not today. He gave the hardest order of his life. Retreat. Rebellion sparks across the galaxy. The Empire retreating was something the galaxy had not seen in thousands of years. News spread faster than light. On distant planets, enslaved races stared at the sky, whispering, the Empire lost? A new world fought back? Humans defeated their flagship? Hope, a feeling long dead, returned. On mining worlds, slaves looked at each other with new courage. On prison colonies, workers paused their machines. On occupied planets, rebels rose from hiding. Whispers turned into fire. Earth fought the Empire. And Earth won. Maybe we can fight too. The galaxy trembled. Back on Earth, Commander Rhea stared at the giant screens. The retreat signals from the Empire fleet were clear. They're leaving, she whispered. They're actually leaving. Cheers erupted across the room. But Rhea didn't celebrate. She looked at the blank spot on the radar where Titan's signal used to be. Her voice broke. Find him. I don't care what it takes. Find Aaron. A faint signal. Hours passed. The world watched and waited. Finally, a small beep echoed across the command center. A technician shot up from his chair. Commander, I found something. Rhea ran to the station. On the screen was a faint, flickering signal. A weak pulse. A heartbeat. Titan's ID code. Rhea covered her mouth. He's alive. She turned to her officers. Prepare a rescue ship immediately. We're bringing Aaron home. In the darkness, Aaron smiles. Inside the Titan, Aaron heard the rescue signal ping. He closed his eyes with relief. They're coming, he whispered. The AI responded softly. Rescue. 80 minutes. Aaron smiled weakly and leaned back. Earth was safe. The Empire was wounded. And the galaxy had begun to rise. His mission was not the end of the war. It was only the beginning. The battlefield over Earth burned brighter than any sunrise. Explosions glowed like fireballs in the dark sky, and the cruel Empire's fleet continued to fall apart. Yet even now, even with their ships breaking like glass, the Empire's commanders refused to accept defeat. In the middle of space, their massive capital ship, the Sovereign Spear, still stood strong. It was a giant metal titan, bigger than any human-built station. Its hull was covered with strange symbols and glowing red lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. It was the final weapon of the cruel empire, and their last hope. But Earth was not afraid. For the first time in history, every human nation, every space colony, every defense force moved as one. The human fleet formed a great circle around Earth, their ships shining like shields of silver and blue. The world below watched through screens, holding their breath. General Marcus Hale floated inside the command deck of the Valiant Dawn. His voice remained calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Everyone listen," he said. "This is the last step. If we take down the Sovereign Spear, the Empire falls." The crew nodded. Their faces were tired, bruised, burned, but fearless. Marcus looked at Aya, the alien defector who had risked everything to warn them. "Is there anything we should expect?" Aya slowly shook her head. "Only one thing," she said softly. "They will never surrender. To them, losing is worse than death." Marcus nodded. "Then we give them no choice." The signal went out. A code. A message. The final operation. Operation Wrathstorm. Human fighters burst forward, leaving bright trails behind them. Drones shot across the battlefield like stinging hornets. Massive warships repositioned, aiming all weapons at the enemy Titan. On the Empire's side, panic finally began to spread. Officers screamed orders. Soldiers rushed to stations. The ship trembled under pressure. Inside the Sovereign Spear, Commander Valak watched the chaos unfold on his screen. His scaled hands curled into fists. "These humans," he whispered, disbelief shaking his voice. "They fight like beasts, but they stand together like a single mind." He slammed his fist on the control panel. "They are only primitives. They should fear us." No one replied. The crew had seen too much. The Empire, cruel and mighty for thousands of years, was being defeated by a species they believed weak. Valak snarled. "Activate the Starbreaker cannon." Gasps echo in the command bridge. "Commander, that weapon will destroy half the human fleet, but it will also tear through Earth's orbit. It may damage the planet." "Then let it be damaged," Valak roared. "If we cannot rule it, we will burn it." But he was too late. Because Earth had predicted this move. General Marcus Hale whispered, "Now." The human fleet opened fire. A storm of light, a wall of energy, a rain of destruction. Everything hit the Sovereign Spear at once. The first layer of armor shattered. The second layer crumbled. The giant ship shook so violently that alarms burst across every deck. Valak stared in shock. "Impossible. No weapon can." The final blow came from the Terran flagship. A massive rail cannon fired a glowing spear of plasma directly into the Empire's heart. The Sovereign Spear split in half. A silent explosion bloomed in the void, bright and beautiful, like a dying supernova. Pieces of the ship scattered into space. The Empire's symbol, the great red crest, flickered, cracked, and finally vanished. The battlefield fell quiet. Then Earth cheered. From cities to villages, from bunkers to star bases, from oceans to mountains. People cried, shouted, hugged, and laughed. Humanity had done it. They had faced the most powerful empire in the galaxy, and they had won. But the story was not over yet. Aya looked at Marcus with worried eyes. "General, you must understand. The cruel empire is huge. They have many worlds." Marcus nodded. "I know. They will send more fleets." He looked out through the window, watching the remains of the Empire's Titan drift into darkness. "Let them come," he said. "Now they know what happens when they threaten Earth." The room fell silent. His words carried weight. Truth, promise, warning. For the first time in 6,000 years, the galaxy felt something new. Fear of humanity. News spread fast. Across alien worlds, rulers trembled. Soldiers whispered. Empires paused. The legend of Earth, small, loud, stubborn, impossible Earth, grew like fire in dry grass. Some feared humans. Some respected them. Some wanted to join them. In the end, one message was sent across the stars. A universal broadcast from the United Human Front. "We do not seek war. But if war comes to us, we answer with fury." This message traveled through space for weeks, carried by light, bouncing across satellites, drifting into the dark corners of the galaxy. And somewhere far away, in a distant throne room lit by blue flames, the Supreme Emperor of the galaxy opened his eyes. His voice was cold and ancient. "So Earth has awakened." He stood up slowly, his shadow stretching like a monster across the floor. Prepare my fleet. A new war was coming. A bigger one. A darker one. But Earth would be ready. Because humanity had changed. They were no longer victims, no longer targets, no longer the weak ones. They were the storm. They were the fire. They were the wrath,